what's going on? So today the video topic is, what is the video topic? The video topic is the benefits of making someone else's day, and specifically someone that had an impact on you when you were young. And I have a specific story pertaining to this. I have a new setup here in the car with a tripod, so I hope it's not too shaky. But yeah, we're going to talk about the benefits of making someone else's day, putting out good energy into the universe so that energy comes back. So let's get into it. Alright guys, my name is Forrest and you're watching Assume Your Power, where we talk all things really life, but how you can cultivate your very own reality based on the energy that you put out, the energy that you take in, the attitude that you have towards life, your business, your career, your family, your friends, and just people you interact with. And today we're going to talk about the benefits of making someone's day and really showing appreciation to someone, and specifically someone that had a profound impact in your life, that maybe you were super young when it happened or when they were in your life. Could be a coach, could be a church leader, could be a teacher, could be anything like that. And you know why you should, if you do see them or come across them and interaction with them, you should take the time to tell them. And I have a specific story that happened to me about 2 days ago that I think is valid and is worth telling. And yeah, let's get into it. So before I get into the story, I'm going to quote Earl Nightingale here. If you haven't read any of Earl Nightingale's books or listened to his speeches or anything, the best thing to read, in my opinion, and the book I usually start people on, is called Lead the Field by Earl Nightingale. And it's kind of a intro or entry guide to basically the law of attraction, or Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. To me, Napoleon Hill is a more intermediate to advanced version of Lead the Field. Lead the Field is built for everyday man, maybe someone who doesn't want to get into, the quantum physics of all this. They just want simple, clear-cut guides to level themselves up and level their lives up. I'd say Lead the Field by Earl Nightingale is the way to go. But he says something in that book, and has a quote that is basically somewhere along the lines of, treat every person that you come in contact with like the most important person on earth. That could be the person at the Starbucks counter. That is obviously your family, your friends, anybody you come in contact with, and see the positive things that start happening in your life. Number one, karma. But number two, those people will take notice, and they'll start returning that kindness, and it's going to turn into, and it's going to cultivate into monetary gains. It's going to turn into more relationships that they're going to send your way. It's all going to grow. So I would encourage you to go read that book. It's called Lead the Field by Earl Nightingale. And honestly, get the audio version, because his voice is just so amazing, and it really is very impactful. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits, because whenever you do that, people take notice. And I found, especially with older people, let's say 40 and up, the 40 and up crowd, they're kind of the crowd that's in with the money, to be honest. And I'm not saying you should do this because of money, but money makes the world go round. And so this is just one of the added benefits. Most of the time, people over their 40s, especially if they're good person, like just active, have a job or have a career or a business, they know other people that have businesses that you could benefit from. And so for me, I own a video production company. To me, it always makes sense to treat everybody like the most important person, because even someone who doesn't have any status, like a 25-year-old guy that I just met, or girl, you never know, man. They could start up their own little business, and it turns into this big deal, and they need video for that or photography for that. You never know who you're talking to. That's kind of my point. But getting into making somebody's day, I want to talk about this specific story that I have that happened to me about 2 days ago in the post office. So with my business, I deliver a lot of download links to clients, but then I also do a lot of like hard drives and hard copies of video content, photography, just so they can have it on a hard copy. So I go to the post office a lot to ship out hard drives. And I was going to ship, I think, 3 different hard drives. It's like a wedding, some photos, and then like a corporate client wanted all their raw footage, so they paid for that. So I was at the post office, and when I walked in, right in front of me, standing in line, I saw my principal from middle school, and she kind of saw me. I could tell she kind of recognized me, but maybe didn't know exactly who I was. Was a little unsure about it. But I decided to go right up to her and talk to her. Now, to give you some context before I tell you what our conversation was about, middle school for me was, I'm not going to say the dark days, but definitely gray days. The jump between middle school and high school, elementary school and high school here in the United States, a lot of times for me it was like you had these middle grades, like 6th through 8th, 3 years. It's a bit of a jump because you're combining with a bunch of elementary schools. You're coming in contact with, for me, I went to like an all-white school until middle school, and then it was all mixed, like Mexican, black, white, and that's great. I'm so glad that it was like that. But there is a little bit of a culture shock going into that. And then, some of the elementary schools had a little bit more of a different background, so you're kind of adjusting all that. So all to say, middle school was a little bit of gray days for me. I was trying to figure myself out. I played sports all through high school and college, and middle school is kind of where that all started. But I was also like testing out band. I was in band for like half a year. Decided that wasn't for me just because I like sports and art and music so much. But I had some bullying issues in middle school, which I dealt with kind of on my own just by standing up to those people. And funny enough, some of those bullies, quote unquote, became some of my best friends later on in high school and in life. But yeah, this person was my principal, and I had some issues having to go to the principal's office, right? Just because of standing up to bullies and being a little rebellious, and maybe my grades weren't where they needed to be, and I was a soccer player, so grades are a thing. You have to have good grades to get on the field, and I was like a good soccer player. I was a starter from the moment that I tried out. I actually started playing high school before I even went to high school, and grades were always an issue. But this principal was really cool to me, and she really took me under her wing because she saw my potential, my creativity, my passion for life, and she really helped me out. When I wasn't supposed to actually play soccer, she said, well, listen, I'm going to write this off, and you can play in your game on Thursday, but you're going to go to this tutoring session, and I'm going to actually come there at 3:30 or 4 o'clock and make sure you're there. And yeah, she was really cool to me. I'm not going to say her name, but she had an impact on me. She really did. And then after middle school, whenever, I went up to high school and then went to college and went to my life, I never really saw her again, to be honest. And there's those certain people that have had a huge impact on me that I'm planning this year, 2023, I'm going to write letters to. Some of them are coaches, teachers, just mentors, church leaders. But a lot of those people, when I see them, I'm going to make a point to go do what I did to this woman. So let's get into that. Now that you know the background of middle school and how she helped me, I saw her, and I walked straight up to her, and we're going to, just for a namesake, we're going to call her Miss Cranberry. That's not her name. If she ever sees this, I'm just giving you a name to not reveal your identity. But I said, oh, hi, Miss Cranberry. And she looked at me, and it kind of clicked who I was. And she said, oh, hey, how are you? And I just kind of went right to it. I said, listen, I saw you standing here, and I just wanted to walk up and tell you that you had a profound impact on my life. And I really appreciate everything that you did to help me through my middle school years. And I'm doing really great now in my adulthood. I own a business. I create content for brands all over the country. And actually, I'm headed to Arkansas right now, to the Ozark Mountains, to shoot some content for a week. And I just kind of gave her the spiel, and I wanted her to know that all her efforts in the educational system definitely did not go to waste. I know there are more stories like this, but this is my personal story, and I owe a debt of gratitude to so many people because I'm a collection of all the people I have been around in my life, be that positive or negative experiences, and she was a positive one. And so I just wanted to thank her for that, and for putting those years into being an educator. And I'm tearing up a little bit because she started tearing up, and it's just the truth. Like, it's okay. Like, I think in the masculine or men's space, it's like not cool to feel emotion. I think it's more important not to let emotion control you. feeling emotion is awesome and great. You should always, welcome that. So, but yeah, it got slightly emotional, not nothing too crazy, and her response was awesome. I could tell it made her day. She looked at me and she said, nobody has really ever said that like out in public, and I know people think it or whatever, but it really does mean a lot because I put 40 years into that job and went from being she was my mom's kindergarten teacher, and then she was my middle school principal. So she's put in a lot of work. She said, I put in 40 years into that and pouring my life into people. And let's be honest, guys, teachers, especially in the United States, I don't know about where you are in the world, they don't get paid very well. They need to be paid a lot more for what they do, especially the good ones. But she said, I put a lot of years into that, so that really does mean a lot, knowing that she had an impact, and now I'm turning around and returning that favor, having an impact on her that day, basically telling her that, what she did was worth it, it was not in vain, and I really appreciate it. And that boosts her confidence and boosts her day, but it did a lot for me too. There's a lot of benefits for yourself, and you shouldn't do it for selfish reasons. But I would encourage you, if you have someone in your life that had a profound impact on you as a kid, it's hard as a kid, as a middle school young man coming up, to turn and even realize what's going on, much less than, looking at them and saying, hey, thanks for what you're doing. You almost have to become an adult and go through all your trials, tribulations, failures, and you're still growing, and to realize, wow, this person really had a huge impact on me. And it's not always comfortable to walk up and say that. Maybe you would be better off sending an email if you can get a hold of their email, or sitting down writing a letter. I'm planning on doing that this year. I've got, I think, like 18. I've written down 18 people that I want to write letters to. They're all like much older, and they were teachers or educators, church leaders, coaches, or just employee or coworkers that were a little older than me. That maybe gave me a shot at something. A lot of them in the film industry or video space. So yeah, that to me, and what I found, especially with that older crowd, whenever you show that appreciation, they'll remember that, and they'll remember the integrity that you have and the bravery that took. And some conversation will come up with some of their colleagues or members at church saying, yeah, we got our business, we need to start doing some marketing. And they'll say, oh, well, I know somebody who does that, and he's really good at it. Forrest, he has a video production company. He could probably help you guys. Let me give you his number, or let me track down his number, or here's his company, here's his website. And I can't tell you how many clients I have gotten that I know for a fact are just because of my attitude. Even video projects that, the client might have been over the moon, but I just was like, this could have been so much better. They've recommended me and it wasn't like, oh, he created the best video. They always said, yeah, so-and-so sent us to you, and they said you were just super easy to work with. You were honest, you were very positive, you were truthful about the process, and they felt like working with you was like just working with a friend. And so that these kind of things will come back to you. This can apply to you if you don't own a business, if you're in sales, if you have a pressure washing company or landscape company. It really pays to be nice to people. And I have another video on that, but anyways, guys, I just wanted to make this video. If you spot a teacher, especially a teacher, guys, like anybody that is pouring their heart and soul into something and they're not doing it for money, because let's be honest, as entrepreneurs, we're trying to make money early in life so that we don't have to wait to enjoy life. So if you see a teacher, especially a good one, they're doing it because they actually love it, and they're not doing it for the money. So if you spot a teacher that was even just, even if you don't know the direct impact they had on you, you just know that they did their best and they were a hard worker, and just walk up to them and just tell them thank you. Like, they do not get enough of that, especially from past students or past, apprentices or whatever it may be. They don't get that a lot, and it really will make their day, and you'd be surprised on how much it'll mean to you that you were brave enough to do that. So that's my story about, making somebody's day and the benefits of it. Make sure you subscribe, like the video. If you have an experience like this, or if this was valuable to you, I would really like to see your comments. To me, the comments are like the most fun because we're building a community. I'm growing every single day, and I hope that my videos are helping you to do the same thing. In the meanwhile, assume your power and have a great time. See you later. Peace.